This is 50-year-old Jennifer Seibert, caught on CCTV footage throwing a bag away. But it is the contents of such a bag that make this case horrifying.
I think Jolene's dead, and I think you know where Jolene is.
Later on, when questioned, she presents herself as Jennifer, but in reality, the actual Jennifer is already dead. And this woman has stolen her name and 18 other names over the past 25 years.
And it may be too that since you've had this alias for so long, you know, you've probably done a lot of stuff since that time.
On May 12, 2018, a mother of 3 vanished without a trace after closing Tangle's hair salon, and the last person to see her was her coworker, the so-called Jennifer. But what they were about to walk into was unlike anything they had seen in their careers.
She stabbed me in the chest. She bit my dad in the leg.
She bit your dad in the leg?
Yes.
What follows is an investigation that peels back 25 years of deception, violence, and a trail of victims across 14 states, leading detectives to a crime so meticulously planned that they'll even begin to question whether the woman sitting across from them is an active serial killer.
I think you're going to find out that there's a lot more in the last 20 years that nobody knows about.
May 12, 2018, Yulee, Florida. Jolene Cummings, a 34-year-old mother of 2, is working at the Tangle's hair salon. Her shift is fully booked until 5 p.m. The last person to see her is her colleague at the salon, Jennifer Seibert, and when she waves her goodbye, she doesn't know that this is the last time anyone will see Jolene. On May 14th, Monday morning, roughly 40 hours after the disappearance, police received a phone call from Ann Johnson, Jolene's mother. She is reported missing, and the case is assigned to Detective Wayne Harrington from the Nassau County Sheriff's Office. Little did this detective know that what started as a routine missing person case would become a relentless hunt for a killer who had been on the loose for over 25 years. As in any missing persons case, the first thing police do is call Jolene's cell phone, pull bank records, and check her social media accounts. But there is zero activity. Her beige Ford Expedition is also missing. Harrington notes that she could have left voluntarily, but leaving her children unattended on Mother's Day seems like a major red flag. To find out more, the investigators visit Tangle's hair salon to speak with her coworkers, including a woman named Ann Morgan.
How do you know Jolene Cummings?
She come there and apply for the job, and that's how I know her ever since she works there about 5-6 years now. That's how I become to know her.
Now, you're aware that she had a boyfriend named Jason G.
Yes.
And was she seeing him currently, or was that a former boyfriend?
Former boyfriend.
And you also are aware that she was separated from her husband, Jason Cummings. Is that correct?
Correct.
For some period of time, she had been keeping records, and she had, I think, like a bag of records that she carried with her.
Yes, she had everything they say or they text. She always keeps all those records. She told me for the court.
All right. And would she bring those records with her?
Always.
Carried them around with her?
Always.
Investigators already found out that Jolene has a boyfriend named Jason Gee and a husband, Jason Cummings, with whom she was separated. The crucial thing Ann mentions to Detective Harrington is how Jolene recorded and carried every bit of the conversation, as if she were paranoid and worried about something. She would take every break to read and study that evidence. Both Jasons would become the focus of this investigation. But the truth behind Jolene's disappearance was far stranger than what they first thought. Soon after, Jason Cummings, the ex-husband himself, would appear in front of the Nassau County Sheriff's Office. Whether he is willing to cooperate or this is an elaborate ploy, Detective Harrington sits down with him for an interrogation. But what he tells about Jolene's private life will send the investigation in a direction no one expected.
When's the last time that you saw Jolene?
It wasn't this past Sunday, it was the Sunday prior.
Okay.
6 or so.
Okay.
at 6 o'clock, about 6:05 actually.
Okay.
At Winn-Dixie, I dropped the kids off. That February, I found out that she was hanging out with the wrong crowd. And I think his name is Clay Cobb, TJ Cobb.
Okay.
And I kind of sent her some text messages, just not threatening.
Right.
But I was like, look, you need to get it together. You need to stop being a junkie. You got kids to raise. And if you look up my injunction, she used them text the same exact words. She used them text messages to put an injunction on me. Judge Foster gave it to her. And all I was doing was just trying to tell her, hey, tighten up. You know, this right here is the reason why I left her, because she would disappear for a few days. And hopefully she's just taken a drug and she wants to go on a walkabout.
Now, you use the word junkie and you're talking about drugs. What are you saying? She has some kind of habit?
I don't know per se that she does.
Okay.
But I know the crowd she was hanging out with is known for being idiots.
Jason appears fully cooperative and relaxed in the interrogation room, something that is rare for suspects. But what he says makes Detective Harrington suspicious. Jason is the first one to suggest she might have had a drug problem, and it seems that he had a deep conflict with Jolene over text. But for now, they need to pinpoint Jason's location.
Got a hold of my buddy named Chris Hill, lives in Jacksonville.
Okay.
Me and him, I went over to his house, actually his girlfriend's house, for about 3 hours. And then we went to the Pecan Park flea market. Me and the kids and Chris and his son walked around for about an hour.
Okay.
And I went home about the flea market. I want to say between 3 or 4, about 6:20, 6:25. I texted Jolene and said, look, you're late. I said, I'll be here in 20 minutes. I said, if you need me to drop the kids off at your mom's, let me know. Because usually if she's running late, she'll tell me, hey, can you please drop the kids off at mom's, or blah, blah, blah. I'm running late. And I waited about another 10 minutes, then I went to her mom's house to see if she was over there, see what was going on. And that's when I found out they've been trying to get a hold of her all day, and nobody's talked to her.
You still have that text where you texted her on that Sunday?
Yes, sir.
Jason provides a strong alibi for the time at which Jolene disappeared. Later, detectives would contact his friend, Chris Hill, to find out whether this alibi is true. And oftentimes, this is exactly where the suspect's story can break.
Yeah, we probably left here at like 2:15 or 2:30. We were here 45 minutes an hour tops.
Okay.
And so we met down at the end of the road about 1:30. We got down, I left here by 2:30 at the latest to go to the flea market.
Okay.
So he was gonna go, and he said he was gonna make his boys some dinner, cook them some pork chops. We talked for probably about 10 minutes after that, and he left. I was there probably 20, 30 minutes longer.
So what time would you
left.
what time would you estimate that he left there? Y'all parted company.
3:45 to 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Jason's alibi is exactly confirmed by his friend, and considering his cooperative nature, including that he allowed full permission to his phone and car, for now, he appears innocent. But what he actually says next might completely change the nature of this investigation and show detectives an entirely different reason for Jolene's disappearance. But before we continue, a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video, FreeCash. If you've been looking for a genuinely easy way to make a little extra money from your phone, this is it. We're talking surveys, trying out new apps, and playing mobile games. Things you'd probably be doing anyway. This month, I've been playing Puzzle and Chaos, and the fact that I'm earning while playing makes it even better. What we love about FreeCash compared to other platforms is the low $25 withdrawal threshold. No waiting around to hit $100 before you can cash out. You can withdraw instantly through PayPal, Bitcoin, Amazon gift cards, and more. There's over 5,000 offers to pick from. It's rated 4.7 stars on Trustpilot. And if you make any in-app purchases, FreeCash gives you direct cash back and higher earning multipliers. On top of that, they've also got a referral system. So once you're set up, you can earn more just by sharing your link with friends. Sign up using the link below or scan the QR code on screen. New users get a $10 bonus when they start their first offer. Seriously, it takes 2 minutes to set up. Now, let's get back to the video.
What do you think happened to Joe?
Me personally, I hope that I heard she's doing drugs and don't want to be found, want to walk about, and now she's got all this attention on her. She's probably scared. I've lived with her. I was married to her, and I've seen this happen a dozen times.
Seen, what do you mean, seen what happened?
She disappeared for a few days.
Okay.
It has been a few days, and I'm hoping she'll pop up any minute and say, hey, I'm here.
Chris would also confirm what Jason said in his interview.
Did you and he ever have any discussions prior to recently about troubles that he was having with his wife?
Yes, sir. He didn't reveal a whole lot, but I do know that one of the reasons he was divorcing Jolene was because she would go missing for a couple days at a time, several days at a time.
How did you know that? When did you discuss that?
We talked about it at work, like as it was happening.
According to both witnesses, this isn't the first time Jolene went missing. However, the police had never been called before, and she had never abandoned her children like this. Since Jason Cummings was cleared, the next person of interest becomes Jason Gee, who is the current boyfriend of Jolene. However, unlike the husband, Gee is not so cooperative as he goes on the run. Nobody knows where he is, and he has also turned off his phone. This makes Jason Gee a prime suspect in this case. Just later that same day, police would find Jason Gee hiding inside an abandoned house under cardboard boxes. He is immediately arrested for violating a prior probation warrant and brought in for questioning. And unlike the husband, who was cleared immediately, this interrogation quickly becomes much more intense.
Jim, have you had a seat in that chair right there? My name's Wayne Harrington. I'm a detective from the Sheriff's Office. You're here on a probation violation, okay? That's what you're arrested for. You are in custody. You're not free to leave. I want to talk to you about something else. Have you heard that Jolene is missing?
Yeah, I wish I could help in any way. Last time I seen her was in night. We got in an argument. I've talked to her. The last time I talked to her was 3:50. I looked on my text. 3:57 on Saturday. That's what we were talking. I love her.
Let me do this because I want to talk to you about that if you want to talk to me, okay? In order to do that, I need to read you your rights. I want you to know you're not charged in any way with her being missing.
Like Jason Cummings, Gee becomes immediately defensive. Detective Harrington knows that this is exactly how guilty suspects behave, seeking to profess innocence before they are even asked. Once they read him his rights, he continues talking.
And do y'all live together? Or?
We did. I just left like within the last couple of weeks. We were arguing and it was like so just always thinking I was messing with somebody else.
Is that what y'all are fighting? Because I know there was an incident a week or so ago where I think it was last Wednesday. Is that right? Where you were at the house, it was argument and commotion, and you left before the police got there.
Yes, sir.
Was that what y'all were arguing about that day?
Yes, I mean it was always she was always accusing me. And I mean she was sitting there telling me something about some girl Christy Jackson, and I don't even know Christy Jackson. And we were arguing about it, and I was trying to get her to tell me where's she getting this from, because none of it's true.
Detectives have already interviewed Jolene's babysitter, Tanya Nelson, while on the search for Jason Gee. And while her story partly confirms what he just said, she will reveal a crucial detail, one which Jason Gee chose to hide.
Well, it was funny because at the time, I didn't think of anything of it. I just thought it was some idiot saying, hey, G, hey, G. That's how he answered the door. Like, you're an idiot, you know? We're 30-something years old and you're talking like this, you know? And he's like, the babysitter's here, dude. I was like, okay, weird. I have no idea who this guy is. Couldn't even pick him out in the lineup if I tried because I just kind of looked and I was like, I thought this man who answered the door was Jason Gee. Well, some guy walks around the corner and he went, are you the babysitter? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, Tanya? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, okay, this is for you. And he handed me the check that I was talking about. And this was the first time she'd ever paid me this way. And in my mind, he was really fidgety and really I think he was using. I've seen it before. I've used before. I've been clean for 5 years. I know. More or less, they just got into a fight, and then he started throwing things at her. The boys were crying.
Okay, now who started throwing things?
Jason Gee started throwing things at her, and the boys were crying. So that's when she told me she called the cops, and I said, do you need me to come get the boys? This was again Thursday, and she said no.
Do me a favor, let me hold your hands up like this. Okay. Flip them for me. You got some scratches on your wrist and everything. Tell me about those.
Dog, we had a dog I play with at the house. That's it.
Who's got a dog? You got some scratches there too.
Yeah, it looks like from the dog.
Okay. You got any other injuries on you? Is that a what is that on your
I don't know.
head?
It's been there a while. It's just a red spot. It's like
okay. I think that is just looks like just.
Yeah, I don't know.
The witness interview, together with the marks, paints a disturbing picture of domestic abuse. In fact, Jolene had also filed an injunction against Jason Gee just the day before her disappearance. She had also secured a lawyer that same Friday to handle a Child Protective Services investigation opened after the May 9th incident. Jolene was actively trying to get Jason Gee out of her life, and then she vanished. The only way out for him now is to prove his alibi, but even that will end up being shaky, to say the least.
It's Franklin's apartments right down from Aiden's, and you know where Aiden's is in Greece. Instead of going down 108, you go straight past Aiden's. The apartments, the like second set, right into your left hand side, right across the street from the church.
Okay. So you were there Friday?
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay. And you said something about fishing.
They went Saturday morning. I didn't go Saturday morning. I went back to my dad's. And I went to sleep. I slept till about 10 or 11. Yeah, when I woke up and they picked me back up on the way to my cousin's, and we went back over there and hung out the rest of the day. And I was there the rest of the day, stayed there till Sunday. Sunday, I went home Sunday night, and my cousin tried, his two little daughters come home with me, and they stayed the night at my dad's. They wanted to come home with me and my dad, and they stayed with us Sunday night.
Do you still have the messages in your phone from?
I don't have a phone, but yeah, I'm sure you can get it through the phone company. But yeah, the message.
Where's your phone at?
I couldn't tell you what the past couple of days. I don't even have it.
You don't have it?
No, sir.
Okay, because keep in mind, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going
to
track your phone, and you had your phone yesterday. You talked to a detective yesterday on the phone, so you had your phone yesterday.
Talked to a detective yesterday?
Yeah, the detective called you, and as soon as he told you who you were, you hung up the phone.
That was like 3 days ago, 2 days ago.
No, that was yesterday.
No. That wasn't.
I didn't get this case through yesterday.
Did he call my phone like 2?
He called your phone yesterday, and I've got the time. I got it. His phone's out there. I can tell you exactly because I'm telling you, he talked to you on the phone yesterday. So where's your phone at?
I don't have it.
The next few minutes of interrogation, we discover that, conveniently, Jason Gee's phone is missing, and he has no idea where he left it. The only witnesses to his alibi are close family members, such as his father, Jimmy, and cousin Travis Pastors. No CCTV, no purchase receipts, no people outside his family to confirm his location during the critical window, unlike the ex-husband. Seeing the inconsistencies, Detective Harrington has finished asking questions and is about to confront Jason Gee with exactly what he thinks happened.
And listen to this interview, like I told you, these cameras are for real. Your story's making no sense.
Oh, well then I need to get a lawyer to help me out.
It's time for you to come clean and tell us what you did with it.
I didn't do nothing with it.
Then where's your phone?
It's at my cousin's or my dad's. Where I've been at.
Which one is it?
Ever since I've had this morning, I've had my battery taken out of my phone, and no, I haven't kept up with it. But it's been
only. You told us one time you hadn't seen it in 3 days, and you told us
another time you hadn't seen it. I never said no bullshit like that.
Get your attorney to watch it. This is your opportunity here to clear your name, and you're acting like a jackass.
Y'all are being dicks to me. I had nothing to do with this. I've been fucking honest with y'all. I told y'all can call my cousin and my dad. They will tell you where I've been at the past 3 days.
You said you love those kids, okay? You said you love her. If my loved one was missing, I'd be blowing it up constantly.
I didn't know she was missing until yesterday at 3 o'clock. My aunt comes home.
How many times did you call her after that?
She ignores my text messages and don't answer them all the damn time.
But if she's missing, you're not going to blow it up saying,
yes, I called it. And I called from my cousin's phone. I called from my dad's phone. I called her yesterday. I texted her. I couldn't get an answer. There's nothing I can do. I don't know where she's at. I haven't seen her. I fucking wish I could tell you. All you gotta do is call. They will tell you where I've been at the past 3 days. I've been right there with them.
Remember this when you're looking at this in court 6 months from now. When you listen to this interview, you sitting there lying.
I ain't lying.
So you didn't tell them in this recorded room here that you didn't have it in the last 3 days?
I didn't say I didn't have my phone in the last 3 days. No, I don't. Man, I want to be a lawyer. Y'all gonna twist and turn this like this and be putting words in my mouth and making me look like I did something I didn't do.
Do you have somebody that can call for you? A lawyer that can call for you?
I need to get over my parents and get them to get somebody.
Alright, we'll get you taken care of. We'll get you everything together.
Instead of confessing, Jason Gee does the opposite and chooses the help of a lawyer, which immediately ends the interrogation. But this isn't nearly enough to answer all the questions the detectives have as to what happened to Jolene. And as we would later see, the culprits behind this disappearance are much more sophisticated and sadistic than detectives initially suspected. Just 6 hours later, at 6 p.m. that same evening, police reached the home of Jason's cousin, Travis Pastors, to ask about his whereabouts the day of the murder.
Hung out all afternoon till about 6, I'd say, somewhere in there.
And it's on Saturday?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So did you take him back to your uncle's house after that?
My wife did.
Okay, so your wife took him back to your uncle's house?
Yes.
And that was around 6 in the afternoon?
She took him and my uncle both home at that around about 6 o'clock, I'd say.
Okay.
Well, his thing was, he wanted to make sure she was all right. And then when he found out she was all right, he was going to turn himself in. But I told him last night, I was like, and this is when, after we watched the news and heard that y'all were actually looking for him and wanted him, I told him, I said, Jason, you need to turn yourself in. Go turn yourself in so you don't look guilty. And I talked to him a little bit about it last night. I tried talking to him about it, and he wanted to make sure she was all right. He said he didn't want to turn himself in and just sit there and feel helpless.
Travis not only confirms Jason's alibi, but paints a completely different picture of him. Not an abusive boyfriend, but a concerned one who failed to turn himself in because he would feel helpless under arrest for the probation violation. Of course, none of this is definite proof for Detective Harrington to prove him innocent. But what becomes definitive is what arrives the very next day. On May 16th, an anonymous phone call comes into the sheriff's office that will redirect the course of the entire investigation. Because the person responsible for Jolene's disappearance is not a jealous boyfriend or an angry husband, the person responsible is someone who was right under the investigators' noses the entire time. In fact, while the investigators were interviewing the girls at that salon, that same person was observing them from the car. And when detectives finally start to get close, they will realize that they have just stumbled onto someone who has been running from law enforcement for a quarter of a century. On May 16th, an anonymous caller tipped the police about the beige Ford Expedition matching Jolene's car description parked in the nearby Home Depot, about 2 miles from Tangles. Investigators inspect the car thoroughly and try to collect fingerprints and other evidence, but find no substantial evidence other than a small vial. This could have been a drug vial or just medicine, but in this case, it was empty. Despite this, investigators do not lose hope, as they can pull CCTV footage from surrounding businesses and track exactly how the Ford arrived at its current location. Police first pull the footage from the Home Depot, and they can see the vehicle shows up parked at exactly 1:17 a.m. on May 13th. Several hours after Jolene left the salon and disappeared. A blurry but clearly female figure dressed entirely in black exits the vehicle and walks away on foot. Detectives begin pulling surveillance from every business along the route, and they track the black-clad women all the way to Flash Foods just a few minutes later. At Flash Foods, the woman is seen purchasing a bottle of water with a credit card, and from another angle, detectives can clearly see facial marks on her face. She makes small talk with the clerk, who would later tell the detectives the entire story.
Been some kind of problem. She didn't go into detail for it much after that. And to be honest, I don't even know how she got to the store because she had me call her a taxi. And then, 10, 15 minutes later, she was gone. She went into this really weird conversation about what meth does to your body. Literally, this is what most of our conversation was about.
What meth does to your body? Okay.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Did you notice any marks on her?
She looked like she had a red mark on her face.
Okay.
It wasn't like much, but it didn't look like someone that hit her. Maybe it grabbed her by the face or pushed her or something like that.
The witness interview confirms everything the cameras show us, but also shows that the suspect was nervous and talking about meth. Detective Harrington remembers that Jolene's husband accused her of doing drugs, while her current boyfriend, Jason Gee, clearly seemed like the type to use. This makes the detective wonder if the suspect was somehow related to the drug problem, or more disturbingly, if this was Jolene herself, and for some unknown reason, she was on the run. For now, investigators will follow the solid trail of evidence to find the truth, which leads them to Stephen Schatz, the taxi driver who drove the suspect that night.
Your side of my van.
All right, now, what do you recall about that person? Was it a male, female?
It was a female. She was dressed in like a black workout outfit. She had black hair, had it up in a bun on her head, and she was just a very nice, kind of bubbly, attractive lady.
All right, and I want to show you a picture of an individual and ask you if you recognize the picture.
Yes, sir. That is the person that I picked up.
By the time of this interview, detectives had already obtained the credit card information from the transaction at Flash Foods. The name on the card, Jennifer Seibert. This is the employee who was scheduled to close with Jolene on the exact day she disappeared, and the taxi driver just confirmed to her that it was her. Jennifer was the last woman to see Jolene, and somehow she had ended up driving the missing woman's car. In fact, on May 15th, while police officers were at Tangles, she was scheduled to work. She pulled into the parking lot in her black Kia Soul and saw the police cars. This prompted her to reverse and immediately leave. Then she texted the manager, Vicky, the following message saying she was quitting and that she wanted her final paycheck mailed to a P.O. box. A few days before that, she had also sent a text saying she had found a drug baggie in the salon. When investigators checked, her address on her CV was fake and her phone number was now dead. To make things worse, detectives didn't yet know they were dealing with someone who had not been on the run for the first time. On May 16th, deputies are on the lookout for Jennifer's 2016 Kia Soul. Deputies in St. Johns County spot the vehicle parked between two semi-trucks. When deputies approach, they find Jennifer in the car, and she's immediately detained on a grand theft auto charge. Police now drive her to the station, but on the way there, they start recording the small talk, which Jennifer has no idea about, and she reveals some very interesting details.
They have, on some parts of me, I have scars. I have like red dot, like it scarred me. Other times it's just a red bump goes away. Sometimes when they bite me, they leave a bruise. It's just, I don't know if it depends on the size of the bed bug, or I have no idea why it sometimes reacts differently, but I do feel them biting me. And it took me years to figure out, that I had bed bugs. When it comes to like getting an apartment and so forth, I have to admit, I'd prefer to rent a room if I were to do it. And I don't want anything in my name. I can't have any utilities or anything like that because of problems with my ex-fiance, the injunction for protection, the address confidentiality. He has friends. He makes very good money. He makes about $120,000 a year. I do not make that. And he has friends who are computer hackers, and he has hacked me, and quite frankly, I'm surprised I'm still alive. So Vicky, I saved the text messages I sent her. She didn't really respond back, and the baggie, I left it back I found it by the back door on the floor. I left it on the color counter or whatever, and then it disappeared.
Jennifer has plausible stories for everything, including her scars and the reason she was on the run. And she also mentions the drug bag she found at the salon. These three separate details will soon become an important part of the full picture in a way none of the officers expected. But for now, Jennifer is taken in to be processed. Before they can question her about what happened to Jolene, they need to collect DNA, photograph her injuries, and preserve every piece of physical evidence on her body. What they find during processing will speak louder than anything she says.
Those hurting you?
No, they feel great. You can put them on tighter if you want. Whatever you want to do.
We can
Not your mercy, so have as much fun as you'd like. How are you?
I'm well.
Awesome.
I'm Samantha. I'm a detective here with the Sheriff's Office. Waiting on some people, crime scene to come, okay? But in the meantime, I got to read you some stuff, okay? It's a search warrant, just so you know, okay? Whereas said facts made known to me and considered by me have caused me to certify and find that there is probable cause to believe that the felony crimes of grand theft auto in violation of Florida Statute 812014 or murder, Florida Statute 78204, has been committed, and that certain evidence relevant to providing said felony is now being kept on or in certain conveyance. Any questions? Nope. So here's what's going to happen. That's your copy, hon. Waiting on a crime scene tech to come. They're just going to photograph you and then swab your hands, take DNA out of your mouth, and do fingernail scrapings, and that's pretty much it. And then take your clothes, and we'll get you some clothes to put on, and then you'll just go to the jail. Okay?
Okay.
What stands out to investigators here is that Jennifer has no reaction when told that she's suspected of murder or going to jail. She shows no concern for Jolene, and she exhibits no fear. This means that she is either completely ignorant or she was expecting this exact moment.
Oh my God.
Sorry. Yeah.
I guess I'll probably be like, oh, you're doing it till I bleed. Good for you.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, because there's blood coming underneath my nail. See it? It wasn't there before. That's alright. You want blood, you got it.
When the crime scene technician removes the band-aids one by one, the photographs reveal scratch marks across her face, cuts and abrasions on both hands, and bruising on her arms. Once her clothing is collected piece by piece and more of her body is visible, additional bruises are documented on her thighs and torso, injuries consistent with someone who had been in a violent physical struggle. Her earlier explanation of bed bugs is becoming increasingly unrealistic. Investigators also searched her car and found crucial evidence. Jennifer was clearly living there while using the showers at various fitness centers to maintain her appearance. But inside, officers found something much more disturbing. A wallet and scissors with blood on them. As it could be Jennifer's own blood, a DNA test was conducted, and what it revealed turned this entire investigation upside down. This isn't Jennifer's blood, it's Jolene's. Being the last person to see her, the injuries, the stolen car, and the blood, all this is enough for detectives to believe Jennifer might have done the worst. She's now the primary suspect of the disappearance and possible murder of Jolene. This dramatically raises the stakes of the case, so detectives immediately arrest and transport her 45 minutes north to Nassau County. The evidence has been collected, and it's damning. Now Harrington needs the one thing no camera or DNA swab can give him. He needs her to talk. And if there is any chance that Jolene is still alive somewhere, the woman in that room is the only person who knows where. The following interrogation footage was released through a public records request and has never been broken down in this level of detail. Every statement she makes, every story she tells, will be cross-referenced with what investigators already know and what they are about to discover. And what they're about to uncover will defy anyone's most heinous expectations.
Are you sleepy?
No, not at all.
Okay. I am. I'm sleepy. My name's Wayne. This is Charlie.
Hey.
We want to talk to you for a few minutes. What name do you want me to call you? Because I was talking to the detective that drove you up, and he said I might have been calling you by the wrong name.
It's funny that St. John's didn't tell you. When you run my fingerprints through, they come up as Kimberly Lee Kessler. That's about it. So I would prefer to be called Kim.
Okay.
But
Okay, I just want to make sure that I'm calling you by your right name.
But if you run them through, I mean, the last time I got picked up was back in 1999, and I bonded out, and it took them, I don't remember, it was a couple of weeks, I don't know if it was 2.5 weeks or 3.5 weeks before they actually, matched them up. Yeah, it didn't but that was 1999, so maybe it was a little bit slower then.
Okay.
But I don't know, there's lots of people on the face of the planet, so maybe it still takes time. I'm not sure.
And it may be too that since you've had this alias for so long, you've probably done a lot of stuff since that time, and so you've actually kind of got you've got a history under that name, so it probably shows up in different databases and stuff like that.
The woman they've been chasing was never Jennifer Seibert. Her real name is Kimberly Lee Kessler. She's a 50-year-old woman, and she has been on the run for over 25 years. In that time, she has lived in 33 different cities under 19 different names, and not a single person who crossed her path came out unharmed. What Detective Harrington is about to hear will make him question whether Jolene Cummings was the first person to disappear from Kimberly Kessler's life, or simply the first one anyone noticed.
I do. I have a son. He is in North Carolina with his father. That's what got me going, running again in 1999. Child Protective Services snatched him while I was at work from the babysitter, and that really sent me over the edge. So Thankfully, his father got him. He told me that the judge told him, or the judge said to CPS, why won't you give this man his son? Like, why are you fighting against him? And the judge made him get our son. And so thankfully, my son is 20 years old now. I haven't seen him since he was 14 months old. I'm very grateful that his father got to raise him. I did not want him in foster care. It scared me to death. I couldn't even understand why they took him. So that set me on my last 19-year run. He was born in 1998. My son is Evan Everett Brooke, and I was under the name Christina Brooke at the time. Yeah, the names go on, don't they? So I met him at a topless bar in Phoenix, and just started going out with him and whatever. And he was with me whenever he called somebody and they said, the FBI is looking for you. And he's like, oh my God. And then he tells me everything. Oh, I robbed these banks. So I'm like, you what? Wow. Here's me. Where's the money? Yeah. So he had no money, and I hid him in my apartment, and that was like kind of almost the beginning.
Are you going to write a book one day?
I don't even know if anyone believes.
Are you okay if I ask my crime analyst to run the name?
Please do.
Because I'm curious. Now you got me. I'm glad I sparked your interest. I didn't make it up. I didn't make it up. Trust me again. You're not judging with me, right? You're not.
Do it, please. You'll see my mug. I'll look a lot younger then.
This somewhat disturbing story of a mother abandoning her son and becoming a girlfriend to a bank robber is just the beginning. After listening to her, Detective Harrington read her the Miranda rights, and they stepped out of the interrogation room to run her name and to find out who the woman sitting across from them was. What they find is unbelievable, as Kessler operated under 25 different aliases and lived in a total of 33 cities in her lifetime. In approximately 1999, after losing custody of her child, she stole the name Jennifer Seibert from a tombstone near her hometown in Butler County, Pennsylvania. The name belonged to a young girl who passed away in a car accident in Germany. She used this identity along with some of her other identities simultaneously, and in April 2018, she applied to a job posting at Tangles with a fake CV, which was found saved on her phone. On her phone, she also had an obituary saved with a circled name, probably the next identity she was planning to steal. She was doing her research by searching for the same name online. Further details about just how disturbed a person she was are revealed later in the investigation, when officers tracked down the people she was associated with over those years. What those people described was a pattern of violence that stretched back decades.
My neighbor also that gave me this other information said that she does remember Kim going into that little like witchcraft or maybe voodoo mode or something real dark, because that around the time when Kim changed, it wasn't just her personality that changed, it was the heavier makeup, the rougher look, the rougher clothing. Long story short, back in 1987, which was the year I graduated, my best friend was killed in a motorcycle accident. And people talked and said maybe somebody ran him off the road or this or that, but now that we're getting into this and I can see Kim wasn't quite the little daisy that she tried to pretend to be. I wouldn't put anything past her.
Yeah, I went to high school with her. She was a grade ahead of me, and she graduated with my brother.
Uh-huh.
My brother's name is Butch Wyatt. Well, anyway, I'm not sure if it was whenever they got out of high school. They were, I think, living together.
Who was?
Her and her brother. I'm not sure if they were living together, but I know that she ended up getting pissed off at him, okay?
Okay.
And she said, I'll get even with you, and she waited for him to fall asleep, and she hit him over the mouth with a baseball bat and basically just blew all his teeth right out.
I saw something about stabbing you in the leg. Can you tell me about that?
No, she stabbed me in the chest. She bit my dad in the leg.
She bit your dad in the leg?
Yes.
And she stabbed you in the chest?
Yeah, it was, and it's like, I don't know if this is important or not, but we had a cat.
Mm-hmm.
His name was Malcolm. And she took that cat and I were very attached. And I'm not even a cat person, but he was just the greatest cat in the world. Well, she took him. And then when she came back, I asked her, I said, where's my cat? And she's like, well, I couldn't take him with me, so I had to kill him.
Did she say how she did that?
she shot him with a shotgun. And I think you're going to find out that there's a lot more in the last 20 years that nobody knows about. It's just a hunch. It's a gut feeling.
I'm going to have to agree with you on that, too.
With all this information, officers and detectives have now changed their scope of a single disappearance to a much more likely serial killer on the run who's just been caught. And these weren't the only ones. Other interviews revealed even more. Stabbing an ex with scissors, threatening a landlord she believed was tracking her. Kessler was a menace to everyone in her life across 33 cities and 19 identities. But right now, Detective Harrington has other priorities as he still doesn't know if Jolene Cummings is alive or dead. For all he knows, she could be locked in a room somewhere, injured, running out of time, and the only person on Earth who knows the answer is the woman sitting across from him. A woman who has spent 25 years lying to every person she has ever met. What follows is one of the most critical moments of the entire case. And after spending over 20 minutes building rapport in the interrogation room, they are ready to confront her.
Speaking of on the map, do you know why you're here?
Yes, I'm being accused. You accused me the other night of, you're like, where's Jolene at? So, and I do not know where she is.
She had been reported missing. They said, there's no way that she's not going to be with her kids. And so I probably come across harsh when I talked to you the other day. And for that, I didn't mean anything by it. But like I said, I want to know, I want to be able to find her, and I want to be able to get her back with her little boy. It's just like, you need to go and be with Evan. She needs to be with her kids, okay?
Detective Harrington asks her directly, and Kessler is immediately dismissive and completely calm, as if she were not the main suspect. The detective also deploys a subtle manipulation relating Jolene's kids to Kessler's own son, Evan. But this is a woman who abandoned her own son, and the appeal means nothing to her.
Did she ever talk about anybody she was scared of? Did she ever say anything that she wanted to run away and get away from it all?
She was saying CPS came to her house. She was telling one client that I caught a little blip of it in between listening to YouTube and the phone ringing. And I remember hearing her say she thought her ex-husband or her husband was doing it to get out of paying child support. That's all I heard, and I don't remember ever hearing about a boyfriend ever. But then again, I don't always really pay attention.
Was she involved in any bad habits or anything that could get her in trouble?
I can't say that she did, but I did find a bag that I believe had crystal meth in it, just a little bit in the bottom, a tiny baggie back by the back door. At first I thought, well, maybe it's Vicky's daughter, whatever her name is, Whitney, because I heard she had a drug habit, but hers is opiate, and that's not crystal meth. So, and I didn't even know what it was at first. And it was actually Jolene who said, that's a drug baggie. And I'm like, really? She said, yeah, that's drugs. She goes, do you know what kind of drugs? I said, I don't know. It could be bath salts. They look kind of like crystals. And I ended up looking up on the internet, and I believe it was crystal meth.
The bag possibly containing drugs was found before Kessler started working at Tangles, but she has now, unprompted, brought up this story in the car and the interrogation room. Investigators would later come to conclude that Kessler was building a narrative that Jolene was a drug addict to explain her disappearance and put the blame away from herself. In reality, none of Jolene's family members believed she had problems with drugs.
There's video of you dropping her car off at the Home Depot parking lot there in Yulee and walking across and going into the gate station and getting a taxi cab back down to, they had it listed as Dick's Wings, but it was back down there to where Tangles is, okay? And that's why you're charged with a grand theft auto. We have, taken a look at your car, and we went out and went to your storage unit on the island, and we did that all on a legal basis. We had search warrants for them all, okay? We've got the video of you when you go in and buy a bottle of water, you bought it on your credit card. You paid for the cab on your credit card. You used the clerk's phone to make the phone call to the cab company. We also have recovered your shoes that has Jolene's blood on your shoes. So I just want you to, if something happened that you didn't intend to happen, I want to talk to you about it. I don't think you're an evil person. I don't think you're a mean person. I think have done one hell of a job getting through the last 25 years.
Investigators acted quickly, and by the time they caught Kessler, they had already constructed a full timeline of what possibly happened based on the evidence. And it's worse than any of them had first imagined. Weeks before the crime, by checking her phone, they found that Kessler's search history included Jolene Cummings over 400 times, along with the terms "no body, no crime," "female serial killers in Florida," and "how to dissect a human body," days before she walks into a West Marine store, as confirmed by the store employee.
What did she buy? Do you know?
She bought a package of zip ties.
You remember what size?
I just remember it was a larger package. I wouldn't say real thick, but it was a long type of a package, maybe.
So they were the longer zip ties, not the small ones.
Yes, I would say the package that we had them in was like 15 to 18 inches long.
On Friday, May 11th, just a day before her disappearance, Jolene argued with Kessler, and the reasons why paint a clear picture of what might have happened.
Jolene here, Jennifer here. I'm the middle.
Okay. And what was Jolene's reaction?
Jolene was sitting down, and I'm sitting on the chair, and Jolene looked up to her, say, "Go away. I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to Miss Ann. You fake. Yes, you fake. You fake. You crazy. You fake." And Jennifer say, "What do you mean? Why I'm fake? What the reason for you to say that I'm fake?" And Jolene say, "I want to talk to you now. Just go away." She say she cannot explain it, but something about Jennifer is not right. She's not a person that she says she is. That's the words Jolene told me. Then I turn around and say, "Well, what kind of person is she?" She said, "I can't tell you because I don't know, but I have the feeling that's not the person that she pursued to be."
Jolene was the first to discover that something about Kessler was not quite right, and she wanted to investigate deeper. The next day, on Saturday the 12th, Tangles had an especially busy day, and Jolene was fully booked. At some point, a customer named Daniel Sawyer walked into the salon, and Kessler gave him a haircut at around 3 p.m.
Did you get a good look at her face?
Yeah.
Did she have any scratches, marks, anything on her face?
No visible scratches, no anything there. And I saw scratches later when I Googled the incident, and she definitely did not have those scratches that she had in the picture there.
By that time, Kessler's face was completely flawless. 2 hours later, at 5 p.m., the salon closes. Jolene and Kessler are the only ones left in the building. What happened next is a mystery. 4 hours later, at 9 p.m., Kessler is first spotted on CCTV at a Walmart in Fernandina Beach, near the salon. She buys ammonia, rubber gloves, trash bags, and an electric carving knife. She exits the store, walks the purchases to her car, and leaves the lot. At 10:45 p.m., witnesses report seeing something at Tangles Salon.
Went out to our car. As we got into the car, we noticed just a couple of strange things that were, we've been exiting this restaurant twice a week at around the same time for nearly 8 years now. So as we got into the car, I noticed a vehicle next to ours, or actually I guess technically 2 spots down from ours, but the whole row was empty except for just these 2 cars, mine and this other vehicle. I commented on it because it looks very similar to Brenda, who is one of the owners of Dick's Wings car. It was a black Kia Soul.
And did you see any person or any movement or anything like that?
Yes, there was definitely something going on. There are blinds in the front of the salon, but there was some kind of a shadow or a movement or something. There was someone inside that salon that was, I didn't see an actual person or, but you could definitely tell there was a shadow moving about the salon.
Afterward, at around 11 p.m., Kessler appears at the local Dick's Wings, emptying a trash can into the dumpster. Investigators would later find contents from the trash dumped behind the Tangles Salon, including a large blue plastic bin. Inside it, one of Jolene's fingernails. At 1:17 a.m., Kessler is seen driving Jolene's car to the Home Depot and taking a taxi before disappearing. On May 13th, Sunday morning, it's Mother's Day and Jolene's 34th birthday. Her 2 children are waiting with the handprint project they made, but she never comes home again. A day later, Jolene is reported missing, and that's when Kessler sends the drug baggie text, already trying to build her alibi. Then, on May 16th, Kessler sees the police at Tangles when she was supposed to come in at work and starts fleeing. On May 17th, after Kessler was arrested, Detective Harrington sent the crime scene unit to Tangles for the first time. To the naked eye, there was nothing suspicious. But when investigators took a closer look, they began to see more and more. Small blood spots were found on the chairs, walls, cleaning products, and in many other places inside the salon. Based on this, investigators decide to use a special chemical called luminol, which turns blue and detects even trace amounts of blood, including blood that is invisible to the naked eye. When the luminol was applied, investigators were horrified to find the salon lighting up everywhere. There was virtually no spot that was free of blood. Blood from both Jolene and Kessler was found. Jolene fought back, which is what caused Kessler's injuries, but unfortunately, she wasn't successful. Kessler cut her up with a power knife, threw her body in trash bags, and cleaned the salon. Investigators traced the dumpster trucks to a landfill in Georgia and excavated nearly 4 million pounds of trash in the July heat. Jolene Cummings' body was never found. In Kessler's storage unit, officers found boots with Jolene's blood, scissors with blood believed to be a murder weapon. 3 cell phones and 4 wigs were also found, which are probably what Kessler was preparing for her new identity. Even more disturbing contents were found inside her phone, including a notebook with listed names and labels: evil, murderous, Satanist. That, along with an audio recording she made herself, gives officers clear clues that she is much more disturbed than initially thought.
The Lord Jesus rebuke them, be gone in Jesus' name. I plead the blood of Jesus over these prayers for my family and myself. In Jesus' name, I bind up and come against every curse, incarnation, spirit of witchcraft, negative word, negative prayer, hex, vex, chant spell, white magic, black magic, voodoo, incantation, all satanic assignments known and unknown, also any and all spirits assigned against my family and me. I reverse every curse and spirit of witchcraft, and I send it back to the sender, amplified up times 100 billion, with the blessing attached that they accept Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior of their life, and that they serve Father God in Jesus Christ's mighty name the rest of the days of their lives.
This is the person who is now sitting in front of Detective Harrington in the interrogation room. She had over 19 different identities over the course of the last 25 years, and she meticulously planned the murder of Jolene Cummings. The crime was clean enough that Jolene's body was never found, and if police had moved any slower, Kessler would already be living under her next stolen name. In the interrogation room, they fully know that they might be sitting in front of a serial killer, so they will push for even more answers.
There was some tension with you guys that last day, and she said that that's what Jolene told you, that, she said she overheard that. But
did an accident happen between y'all?
Hey, I think Jolene's dead, and I think you know where Jolene is, and I don't want to go tell her ex. I know that she didn't have a great relationship with her ex, but I know she loved those 2 boys. I don't want them to. I dread the point, but it's going to happen. I'm going to have to tell them that their mom is gone. Okay.
And we need to know where
but I need to at least let them be able to give her a proper. She's out there somewhere. Her body's out there somewhere. Let us get her buried properly, or whatever final arrangements they need to take care of. I just want you to think about it for a minute. We're going to find out what happened. I don't mean that in a threat. I don't mean that in a bad way. I've been here for 4 days, almost 16, 18 hours a day, because I'm going to find out where those little boys' mama is. I promise you I'm going to do that. You can help me do that, and you're the one that can make it happen right now.
No, I cannot, and I'm not. Again, whatever fury may come,
How did her blood get on your?
So let me reply this way, and you may not like the answer. I would like legal counsel. I haven't been able to call anybody. I haven't been able to call my mom, and I see how that works. And that may still continue to go on. I may not be able to call anybody. You'll just stick me in jail, and I'll just sit there, and I can't call anybody, and on we'll go. That's fine.
Kessler is completely ruthless, and despite being a mother herself, she never reveals a single detail about what happened to Jolene or where her body might be. After she requests legal counsel, the interrogation is over, and she is put in jail, where she quickly devolves into insanity, shown in paranoid calls to her mother.
It's a game they play. Prosecution, this is their, So most people hate isolation. Most. It's considered punishment, right? But to me, I'm like, except for the freezing cold, because it is freezing cold in here. But they're just trying to break me. That's all. And they do other things in here, like in general population, they can't put that gas in there. You know what I mean? But they put me in a little room by myself. They fucking gas me. And they do it a couple times a week, every week. And they're not fed. It's a concentration camp. It's just like concentration camp. Same bullshit. I got the gas chamber going on here. Not 24/7, but a couple times a week for a few hours. If we had enough money, and if I had a private attorney, we could run tests and blood tests on me, and it would prove, and you would see the poison in my body. You would see it. But we don't have the money to do that, so there's no way to prove it.
Kessler went on a hunger strike lasting for 56 days, and her weight dropped from 196 pounds to 74 pounds, claiming that her food was being poisoned. She threw feces on the windows of her cell, and she stripped naked. After nearly 4 years, on January 27, 2022, Kimberly Kessler was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for the murder of Jolene Cummings. Jolene's mother addressed her in court, directly asking for the body, but Kessler never responded. Tangle's hair salon closed permanently afterward, and to this day, Jolene's body has never been found. The sheriff of Nassau County concluded, "I don't for 1 second believe that Kimberly Kessler, or whatever name she's going by today, I don't believe this is her first murder. I don't, at all." Detectives may never know how many others crossed paths with Kimberly Kessler and were never seen again. If you like this type of content, subscribe to our channel and make sure to check out the next video. And before we sign off, don't forget to sign up for free cash using our link down below or the QR code on screen. And remember, the more offers that you complete, the more rewards you unlock.